The new Apex Legends Season 12 patch notes are here. I'm excited. The patch notes are actually very good and a lot of them are very nice quality of life changes for the game. So hello everyone, I'm your hostess with the mostest, 8 Second Gaming, and today I'm going to be breaking down everything that you need to know about this patch. But first, if you guys are excited about the new season and you're ready to grind it out and hit a new rank that you never thought possible, then you need to check out the GameLeap website right now. Our top tier level players are creating guides all the time to help you out in your grind. We've made legend guides, VOD reviews, and even gun guides showing you all the nice tips and tricks for some of the weapons in Apex. So if you're ready to take your game to the next level and actually start climbing and stop being hard stuck, click the link in the description and get your membership right now. But now let's talk patch notes, and first up we're talking about the new legend Maggie. Now I'm gonna cover her briefly because we did a full breakdown of her kit and how she'll change up the meta in another video. So her passive is called Warlord's Ire, and you temporarily highlight enemies that you've damaged, and you have no movement speed penalty when wielding a shotgun, so it's basically the same as if you were running with your fists out. Next up, her tactical riot drill. You fire a drill that attaches to an obstacle and burns enemies on the other side of it. This is the one that will really shake up the meta and why you need to go check out that other video. And finally, her ultimate is Wrecking Ball. You throw a ball that releases speed boosting pads and detonates near enemies, and it's also a form of CC. It kind of throws them around a little bit. It's pretty cool. Along with Maggie, we are getting a brand new limited time mode, Control. This is like Control in Destiny or Domination in Call of Duty if you played one of those games. There's points on the map, you have to capture them, you get points for killing people and capturing flags. Different spawn points come up with different control points that you capture. It's really cool, it seems really fun, and it also seems like a very good way to warm up. But now some stuff that I'm excited for, let's talk about the map changes. And first off, we got Olympus. We did see an expanded map, spreading squads out more so that the map center area isn't the only go-to combat zone each game, and reducing the frequency of spontaneous third parties. This was always the really big issue on Olympus. If you remember, if you played Olympus, there was the big triangle kind of around Hammond Labs, where if you shot any singular bullet there, everybody would be on top of you, and it was just a huge issue. This seems like a very solid quality of life change for Olympus. They also made it so that there's better rotation options to help players get around and out of dangerous choke points. Another very big issue that I hated on Olympus, so I'm excited to see these changes. And they also added a new POI. It has a new interactive map toy and play spaces to help out players in the new area. And it also makes a very nice, fresh, awesome experience for Olympus. Now we are going to see some changes coming to Stormpoint. First off, the wildlife changes. The Prowler's damage did get reduced from 30 to 20, and the knockback effect was reduced as well. They also introduced a targeting cap for Prowlers, so now only 3 Prowlers will be able to hit you at a singular time. They also made it so that Prowlers don't spawn if there's 2 teams inside the nest. This makes it so that teams can actually fight inside a Prowler's nest and actually be able to shoot each other and not have to worry about Prowlers running them down. Though do be aware, because the big Prowler nest in the middle of the map won't have this change. You'll still have to deal with the Prowlers if you're fighting in that area. And they did incentivize it a little bit more because they went from 90 crafting materials for completing it to 150. And they made it 250 for the large Prowler nest in the center of the map. But do be aware that this is spread between all the players on your team, so you're not going to get 250 outright, it'll be spread across all of you. And lastly, the big change for the wildlife is they overhauled the wildlife targeting rules to use damage as the primary factor. This should help with the targeting and make it feel a lot more fair and less random, because let's be honest, the Prowlers seem to just randomly attack you and it was really weird to try to predict. But probably my favorite change to Stormpoint is the dropship pathing. They made it so that the dropship tries to path more to the center of the map, making it so that a lot more places are reachable from the dropship, and it actually looks really cool. I'm really happy about this because a couple of games that I played on Stormpoint, I wasn't able to make it to the drop spot that I wanted to go to because of a bad ship path. Now, diving into the rank changes, let's talk about some of the stuff that they've done this season. They've changed the max KP from 175 to 125. They also bumped up the placement points for the teams in top 5. This incentivizes people fighting a lot less in the early game and really going for more placement points. This will make the game seem a lot less AP and make it seem like people are actually playing for placement. This doesn't mean you can't go for kills, it's just not as important, making it so that throughout the game there will be more teams alive and you actually have to plan out rotations. The rank changes are nice quality of life, but another quality of life feature that they're adding is the communication filter. This season, they'll be releasing a new feature where players will be able to determine which players they want to receive voice and text chat from. You can set it to everyone, where you see and hear all text/voice chats from all players, friends only, where you only see and hear friends text/voice chats, or off, where you don't see or hear any at all. You can also randomly unmute people, friend of a friend, or just a good teammate. But now the big juicy changes coming this season. Let's talk about the legend balances. For Crypto, his drone view is getting a huge quality of life update. They added game state like ring information, round timers, minimap, kill feed, team status, and ping information to the drone's HUD. They repurposed the drone HUDs from old Crypto health/shield presentation into displaying the health of the drone itself. And also, survey beacon markers are now displayed in world while piloting the drone. It's just the same as when you're running around as Crypto himself. They did also mess around with his passive Neuralink. Now they increased the Neuralink detection FOV from 160 to 240, so it's basically all around you. And they also did disable it when the drone is being recalled, so if somebody's sneaking up on you as the drone is leaving, you won't really know. And for the drone changes, the deployment of the drone has received a huge rework. Pressing the tactical button causes Crypto to send the drone flying in a straight line in the direction of Crypto's view for a few seconds. If thrown into a wall or other terrain, the drone will hit the wall and reorient itself so that it's facing away from the wall, setting it up like a spy camera basically. And Crypto no longer immediately accesses the drone view after deploying his drone in this way. Pressing and holding the tactical button will launch the drone forward in the same way, but then Crypto will immediately access the drone view, so you can't still use it like you used to. They did also reduce the drone health from 60 to 50, and if you're like me and can't hit the broadside of a barn, that's nice. The HUD marker for the drone has also been tweaked to increase visibility. The HUD marker for the drone is now always displayed on screen while the drone is deployed instead of only when the drone was off screen. The devs also did note that Crypto has been off the grid in terms of pick rate. The goal for these changes was to make his kit more accessible and engaging. So hopefully Crypto will see a lot more play in metas, and with this he might actually. The issue that Crypto had was he had to be out of the fight when your team was setting up. With this, he'll actually be able to be in the fight while setting up for his EMP, so you're a lot less vulnerable. I don't know if Crypto will absolutely shake up the meta. I don't think he'll really be seen as much as they think he will be, but it will be a lot more interesting to see the kind of team comps people come up with these changes. But now let's talk about the caustic nerf, and I really actually don't think it's a nerf at all. His Nox gas traps are now destroyable after detonation, but instead of being one shot, they have 150 HP, the same as a legend with white armor. They will also expire after 11 seconds instead of the 12.5 seconds like before. The gas will linger in the air for a little bit, so they can still deny area after they're gone. And 150 HP on a barrel is huge. This will really make you shift your attention off of somebody that you're trying to fight to shoot a barrel. Plus, you'll have to reload afterwards, leaving you extremely open for counterattack. So caustic mains, I don't really think you have anything to worry about. But now something that I'm extremely excited for, the weapons and equipment changes. First off, the supply drop rotation, the alternator is going out, losing its disruptor round hop up, and the volt is going in, getting a damage increase from 15 to 17 and its maximum magazine size from 28 to 30. I never really thought that the Volt was a care package tier weapon, but who knows, maybe I'll change my mind when I actually get to use it in game. Now for hop-ups, we are seeing a brand new hop-up coming to the meta called the Kinetic Feeder. This is for the Triple Take and Peacekeeper. Sliding with those weapons will significantly speed up the choke time and automatically reloads rounds from your inventory. I don't know how much the choke time will affect the Triple Take because I don't personally slide with it when I'm trying to choke it, but with the Peacekeeper when you're bubble fighting it might actually be pretty good. Now something I'm excited for but also terrified at the same time, the return of hammer points. This is for the P2020, the Mozambique, and the RE45. That's the scary one. The P2020 is seeing 50% unshielded damage, the Mozambique 35, and the RE45 is also 35%. The RE45 is scary because it is a fully automatic weapon that is getting more damage to unshielded targets. But to be fair, the RE45 has never really been a meta gun and it's always just kind of been shadowed out by the R99 and the 301. So maybe we'll actually get an RE45 meta, a gun that's never seen shine in the meta before. So I'm actually kind of excited for that, but again, I'm terrified because hammer points are scary. Now, shatter caps for the 30-30 repeater and the bow check are getting a slight change as well. Now, you no longer have to toggle it on or off. When you hip fire, it will always be shatter caps. The 30-30 pellet damage got reduced from 8 to 7 and the bow check pellet damage got reduced from 12 to 11. I personally never used the shatter caps a whole lot. When I had a 30-30 I had a shotgun, when I had a bow I also had a shotgun, so I just used that instead. These aren't horrible changes, they're actually pretty good, but they're also kind of bad, because if you want to get the strafe speed from hip firing but don't want to use the Shattercast because you're still a little bit far away, then you're kind of screwed. So let's see how it plays out in game. Maybe it'll actually feel really good, maybe it'll feel really bad and they'll revert it. Who knows? I'm excited though. The triple take is also receiving a few nerfs on its own. Since its return to floor loot, it has been kind of ahead of the pack in terms of marksman rifles, so they're reducing the damage per pellet from 23 to 21, and they're also removing the projectile growth rate from the bullets. Other weapon changes we're seeing are to the flatline and longbow. The flatline is getting a damage reduction from 19 to 18 per bullet, and both the flatline and longbow are going into the crafter for 30 materials at any crafting station. Weapons that are in the crafter cannot be found on ground loot, and weapons that are crafted do not come with attachments and 2 boxes of ammo. I'm personally not a huge fan of this because the flatline will still be really strong and people can get it for 30 crafting materials, so you're gonna see a lot more people running it in the game. I also never really picked my drop spots based off crafting materials, but now I think I'm gonna have to start doing that because this seems like a very overpowered situation in the game, and you're passing up on a huge opportunity if you don't do it. But speaking of crafting, they did make the medkit price lower from 20 to 15, and they added kinetic feeder into the crafting rotation. But to round this all out, let's talk about the quality of life updates. Starting off with the one that I'm really happy about, you can now see what survival item your teammates have when you open up your inventory. Before I had to ask my teammates what they had or if they had anything at all, now I can actually check and kind of make my choice based off that. If both my teammates are running heat shields and I'm trying to decide between a mobile res and heat shields, then that makes the choice very easy for me. I no longer have to waste time talking to them because, let's be honest, who wants to talk to randoms? They also took out punch boosting. For anybody that didn't know what punch boosting is you melee the ground on an inclined surface and you get a huge speed boost from it. It was a fairly new movement technique that I'm going to miss quite a lot because it was a lot of fun to do. It really didn't give anybody huge advantages. Everyone could do it. Controller, mouse, and keyboard didn't matter. And they also kind of removed tap strafing. Now, tap strafing has been a hot debate for the last how many seasons, so I don't really want to get into that right now. But they made it so that you can only really tap strafe 90 degrees. So they didn't fully take it out, but it kind of ruins it, and I don't know how many people are going to be doing it anymore. So, controller players, you get a small victory right now. But just wait, because us mouse and keyboard players are coming back with a vengeance, and we're going to find something new and we're going to exploit the crap out of it. And the last changes that they mentioned were private match updates, but unless you're actually running private matches, they don't really matter. And if you are running private matches, then you probably are just going to have to read them yourself. I am very excited for this new season. I cannot wait to actually get my hands on the RE45 with hammer points, test it all out, see how the new legend plays out in the meta, see if my predictions for her were correct. So if you guys are excited for the new season and want to stay up to date with all of the new videos that we got planned out for you, because trust me, they are bangers, then make sure to smash that sub button and ring the bell to be notified when we post. You don't want to miss out on any of these videos coming. Thank you all for watching. Once again, I'm 8 Second Gaming, and I will see you in the next one. I will see you there. Trust me.